In all of these videos, we're trying to take a moment to be able to share some introductory thoughts on what it means to start rearranging our values and priorities to align with those that God has called us to live when we have become Christians. There are going to be parts of every single person's life that their behaviors before they became Christians and after they became Christians don't really need to change a little bit. The motivations for those behaviors do. And there's going to be times where our behaviors are actually in contradiction to the way that God's called us to live in that same area of our lives. So let's take a little moment to talk about time. Well, if I had done that better, I would have said a little time to talk about time, but your time's valuable, so I won't make you go back and listen to this introduction again. See, you're busy. You know how I know? Because you're alive. Because you're in America in the 21st century. You have probably very little discretionary time where things are just not going to get filled up, things aren't going to be pulling you, where you're not going to have a multitude of opportunities. But that doesn't mean that you shouldn't take some time to evaluate whether or not the way you spend your time is intentional or accidental, whether it honors God or whether it's just around God a little bit. One of the things that we always say is we've run out of time. You know what? I just didn't have the time to get there. This is something we use with money too. I just didn't have any more money. We're kind of out of time, out of money. Wish we could make it, but we can't make it. Can we be honest? That's not actually true. See, you could make it to a lot of things, but the reality is there's something else going on that you value more than the other opportunity that's in front of you. That's kind of how all of us choose to spend and invest our time, our finances, and our relational energy. What do we value the most? Or at least it should be that way. So when it comes to following Jesus, we have to take our time and understand it's limited and it's a finite resource. And like every other area of our lives, the best of it should be given to God. We might have to start saying no. We might have to start saying yes to different things now that we're trying to serve and follow Jesus. Easy examples of that would be attending church on a regular basis, being a part of a smaller group of believers during the week to help you press into a relationship with God, making sure that you've got time to serve in the church, making sure that you have time to engage with the scriptures and prayer on a daily basis with God. But in addition to that, you also want to make sure that you're having time for relationships with those inside of the church in your life. Have you carved out any time to have dinner with somebody, to go out to a park and have a family day together with someone else? Are you making sure that you're not investing so much time into a career to provide for your family, but your family would actually rather have you at home rather than have more money? Are you spending your time according to your new values of God first, your family second, and then everything else in an order underneath that? Or are you just filling your calendar with the things that got there first? It's never going to be the case when you say, well, as soon as things calm down, or things get a little bit slower, or things get a little bit easier. I've never had anything get slower or easier in my life. I have had to do, as a friend said, I've had to do violence to my schedule to make sure that I have time to serve God. And I'm a professional Christian. My entire job is to read the Bible and tell other people about it. And I have to do violence to my schedule to make sure that I have enough opportunities, because the to-do lists, because the other opportunities, because the other things that seem fun in a moment but actually provide nothing else of long-term value in my life, they're always coming at me. So when it comes to time, take a moment, look at your calendar, look at the things you've committed to, and recognize every single thing on there is there because you put it there. It's not all bad, it's not all wrong, but don't spend your time in such a way that it's whatever got on your calendar first. Have a sense of your priorities. Have a sense of your values that now include the primary value of honoring and serving God. And then begin to reallocate your time, begin to re-spend and reinvest your time in the number one, in the order of your new priorities, not just in what got there first, so that you can be investing in seeing the kingdom of God grow in your own life, in your family's life, seeing your relationships increase, seeing your power and influence in what you're trying to do to bring the kingdom of God on earth as it is in heaven continue to increase in the world around you. Don't just use your time, invest your time according to your new kingdom values.